So alright.
So why don't you go like?
I'd have to travel
right? I talk to people that do stuff like this, and they don't want to go back.
Why are you so stubborn?
You're so insecure.
It's such a wonderful place to be.
Like
you want to study with these people, but you never want to go back.
I've had the privilege of living life outside of America for years together, right?
Yeah, not for nothing, but everybody needs adaptive cruise control. Because I'm sitting through slow moving traffic right now, and I have this thing set at 22 miles an hour, and it's literally stopping and going. This is amazing.
See, what's amazing also, Megatron, is that you said that there's either Kabbalists or there's Jesus people, Christians versus Kabbalists, and you just don't get it that Jesus was a Kabbalist. He was practicing Kabbalah. Oh, you took it back.
Yeah, I said I fucked up. I said that Jewish mysticism is the New Testament.
Got it. Okay, so the other approach from the 60s and 70s, see, Migzed said that by essentially denying all mysticism, you have a mystical experience. And that's exactly what Zen is, which is the philosophy of nothing. And so your ordinary mind is actually the simulation, which is joy. That's the beauty of mysticism. It's very basic. The now is the eternal. Hello? It's Alish is God. All is God. That's what it is. Each and every one of you beautiful people, even annoying Regal, he is also that spark. And that's why I say highly annoying people or extremely annoying people. Some of them, you're mistaking them for actually being highly annoying because you're so impatient, you can never get to the point. Hello?
The day human beings understand.
So you want to know what my latest project is? My latest project, and I'm going to hand this out to everybody. And my latest project is going to be and prove, all right, that since the 3rd and 4th century, the Bible with the Old Testament has remained the same. And I'm going to make a chart to show them that 3rd, 4th, 5th centuries and 6th have remained consistent in order for the stories to even be in the Quran itself. So we're talking heavy evidence here that they can look up on their own, or they can ask the ChatGPT once I have it all set up with the chart and the links. And I'm trying to get pictures. Oh, I gotta put my hand on the steering wheel.
All your life, you just want to
Oh my God, you gotta drive your car? How annoying.
They are wrong, I am right. They are wrong, I am right. That's all that is running in your head, Megatron.
No, because they've been lied to. I feel bad for these people.
Spiritual people. That's their problem. They need their own experience. They can keep telling you you're wrong. They're wronging their soul by doing that.
Yeah.
No, well, you know what? I want to see these people in heaven, not sipping milk and honey off of some really women with large breasts. Remember when I brought that out, Nargis? When Mahdi, that was so funny. That was so funny.
We do
they
that
have breasts.
and then go to heaven.
It says it. There's a verse in the Quran that says
let them go to
they have breasts.
You sit and chill with your freaking homies and
that have breasts.
Whoever came back from
young
heaven
women.
what happens to them.
The Nargis just said homies. Chill with your homies. Pour one out for your homies.
No, I want to see my dad. I want to tell him all the stories and stuff. Fuck the women, man.
Yeah, it is annoying. Your ego is hurt that they keep saying you're wrong, we're right, you're wrong. Yeah, it's annoying after a while, and I've said this many times to them.
Help me on
could just stop being so wrong.
Wrong and right. I will find you.
Wrong, right.
Well, all right, so Mixed, I'm making a chart that shows that nothing has changed from the Old and the New Testament since the 3rd, 4th, 5th, 6th century. Or even, I could go before that, but I'm going to keep it just around the time the Qurayshi people would be around. So 3rd, 4th, 5th, 6th centuries. until now.
Great.
With the manuscript history, with all the evidence that they can search on their own. And I'm almost done with it.
How do you compare Muhammad to Jesus? That's the thing I never hear about a Muslim denounce, to say, okay, I've studied the life and history of Muhammad and I've compared it to the life and history of Jesus Christ. I look at the Muhammadan law and I look at the Christian Jesus Christ story, and I'm still just flummoxed between the law and this spiritual paradox. Because Regal earlier said, when Christ, right before he died, he said, the work is complete, and he is a man, he's not a man, he is the God. So it's like there's this paradox, or this, basically, how can you just not denounce Islam as from a historical legal basis? Hello?
What they're doing now is feeding Megatron's ego, which is actually, this is not good for him. It's really harming him, what he's doing. This constant need to prove they are wrong and they shouldn't be saying that. And he's doing it from a good place. What you're doing is also...
No, Narges, you're the biggest blabbermouth. What I'm trying to say is that Muhammad actually was a hardcore fascist mystic engaged in gangsterism, warfare, barbarity, and tribalism. And you can only do that through having a mystical experience of force. And might equals right. It's a pretty sick thing to do to people. Anyways, I am complete. I know you just want to yell and get your dopamine, but I rest my case, Narges. You need to learn the fine art of silence and meditation, because you're just a blabbermouth, Narges.
For such a mystic, you should be meditating.
Oh, Regal, shut up.
Clear, we should be teaching me the example.
Regal, shut up.
Actually, maybe I can front Regal to come with me to India. You want to come with me?
Yeah, I think we should all go to India together.
I'm serious.
I want to bring Alex here.
No, forget India. Let's go to Istanbul. You want to come with me?
We'll go whirl with the dirt.
It's so beautiful. Oh, but Regal feels scared of that.
He's just scared to run. He's running from his own
so scared of exposing himself.
Regal is
anything other than his vegan bias views.
He's such a soft lover, and he's just running away.
He's so
scared. He's so scared. Don't be scared.
Listen, I've traveled the world. I've been to Muslim countries. There's no problem being with them in the streets. And that's because I'm a conservative person. And I got no problem living amongst Muslims, even if they're ruling. That's fine by me. But I'm just saying, if we were in a court of law or a classroom, this conversation is a worthy debate about which system or model should be outdated by now. Hello?
Classroom.
Who cares?
Narges, you make statements, but you don't actually make conclusive statements. You sometimes just say like 3 words. It's like a broken sentence and not even connected to really anything. I don't even know how people on this app actually successfully fully communicate with you sometimes. Hello?
Further from you. I have that freaking.
You got that simplicity of language. I get it. Maybe it's because you're multilingual and I can only speak, one primary language, which is English.
Yeah, that's a trigger.
You also speak the language of annoying.
Well, this is the other language, which is hieroglyphics. This is when, essentially mysticism, spirituality, and having fun is complicated, meaning that ABC, or abracadabra, is really a beginning of real technology, which is using our bodies to synthesize sounds and symbols for concepts. And this is why I say this app sucks, because the information transfer in a 10-minute conversation is so small compared to the information transfer in the experience with a book, that essentially everyone here is retarded, including myself, even on this limited disposition. So anyways, I rest my case. I'll see you all at the International R-Word Convention for R-Words who waste all their time on conference call apps. Have a great day, everybody. Bye. Farewell. Kick me from the room. I'm ready to be kicked. Please kick me again. I want to go. I want to live my life getting kicked by people who can't control themselves and talk endlessly like blabbermouths. They call them blabberinas. Go ahead, blabberina. Kick away. Ready to be kicked. Ready to be kicked. Kick, kick, kick. Kick away. Kick the rock away. Kick rocks.
Technology made our lives to be living in a way that is completely different, or rather very different from 50, 30, even 30 years ago. And the other thing I noticed that people mentioning what young people get from their news sources, their news. You mentioned that as well from that survey. Sometimes for teenagers, people in their 20s, and they're just fresh out of college, they can get it from game rooms, from playing League of Legends. From chat rooms that they were having fun with, not necessarily from X.com or WashingtonPost.com. None of that anymore, and that to me tells me one very important factor, which is the concept of a community. We don't have the same kind of community as we did 50 years ago, where there's a lot of offline events happening, neighbors visiting each other. Town hall meetings where you see face to face your representatives and news reporters. Everything has been going online for so fast and so much. COVID certainly drove that even more substantially, so that we don't have the sense of a community of learning from each other, from hearing from each other face to face anymore. Everything is about virtual. Look at what we're doing right now, Gary. Look at how many people are actually in this room. Why? It's because we, at least in the U.S., there's none of the same traditional format of gathering, of telling each other stories.
Oh, wait a minute, Ben. Where are you located?
I'm in the U.S.
Where? What state?
California.
Okay, so you're in California. Alan is in Texas. Howard is in Arizona, and I'm in New Jersey. How could the four of us, much less all the other folks here in the room, sit down and have this discussion with one another were it not for Clubhouse or some other similar? So it's not necessarily a negative. You can still find traditional news sources online. If we are switching to an online environment, that's great. But do we have the ability to discern between the bloviating on social media and on late night television, or the comedians who have clips on TikTok from what we can also find online from traditional media? And or do we not need the traditional media because we have the comedians to tell us what's newsworthy? And by the way, where are they getting their material from?
Right.
They're not just making it up. They've got to be getting it from mainstream media anyway.
So that's where I'm trying to go to, Gary. Yes, thanks to Clubhouse, we can have this type of conversation online, and it has to be online. None of us were able to fly from Texas, New Jersey to the same spot. Absolutely. But
I would fly to California to talk to you, Ben. Don't say none of us. Speak for yourself. You may not be willing to fly to Newark Airport, but I booked a flight on Spirit, and I'm on the way tonight.
You booked? I'm sorry. Change your flight, Gary. The thing is this. That tells.
Did you get that? For all of you who say that I should be using comedy, that was supposed to be comedy. I want a thumbs up for that one. I just delivered the news using comedy.
Yes. You're not an old fart anymore, Gary. So in all seriousness, Gary, the fact that we're doing this online thing, that tells us one thing, is that technology companies are playing a huge role in directing the direction of news. All this algorithm that where we've been examining, we've been hearing, whether it's YouTube or Facebook or X, they're actually making a substantive contribution to how news is delivered and how public opinion is influenced. In other words, I venture to say the traditional conception that news media is a neutral platform like telephone poles or landlines. I do not personally believe that anymore. Again, the so-called Section 230 cases that we discussed a couple of years ago, I think that's a great indication that they probably were traditionally as a neutral platform of delivering, sharing news. But with the algorithm, they are literally skewing the news media, the information we're getting, by aggregating, dividing individuals to the left, to the right, conservative, liberal. That's an open secret, if not a secret, if a secret at all. So because we have a platform like this, imagine if Clubhouse has automatic prohibition of certain words, and then if you have those words in the room, you're automatically eliminated. Imagine that form of censorship that's not done by physical media, like lack of access to the newspaper or a sound wave. Rather, it's the platform like what we have right now. And this is another indication to us, to me at least. This is why people are open to all kinds of sources of information, including comedy. And the reason is because, particularly with this administration, and I'm not really bad-mouthing the Trump administration, but when you want to get some comedy, you may turn into the White House press conference, where you can see the press secretary is just openly lie through her face, through her mouth. And then he's being extremely mean to reporters. Even Trump himself saying something, you should sit down. You're such a weird person. You're not from a fake media. I don't want to talk to you. Don't ask questions. You, Mr. Fox. That's almost like a Saturday Night Live skit. I would have never imagined in the Tate O'Neill era or even the Obama era, public government officials will talk to reporters in that manner. Or even like Trump would ridicule a reporter with disabled with a speech pattern.
You know what, Ben? Ben, you're a nasty person. You're a nasty, nasty person. You have low IQ, Ben. Low IQ. You're a disgrace. Your news organization you work for is failing. You should be ashamed of yourself.
I mean, can you imagine that? And also, that's still comedic, but there's something more serious. If I'm the president and you say something, I'm pissed about my wife or anything, instead of whacking you, giving you a slap your face like Will Smith did on the Oscar ceremony, I'm going to influence my FCC, Brendan Carr, to say, if you do not take this guy off the air, I'm going to take away your license. I mean, I'm paraphrasing, or in effect, that is not only not funny and upsetting. It's very concerning, because that's the very thing that our Constitution does not want the government to do, which is for the government to limit the freedom of speech. And I remember Howard, actually, Howard, I respect you and I appreciate you, but I remember once we talked about, it's a private decision. It's all these television stations, I don't know, the local stations that wanted to take off Jimmy Kimmel because it's, their private entity. However, even though it's a private decision, which is completely fine, right? But they were doing that at the threat of a FCC commissioner, if not chairman, Brendan Carr. That is extremely concerning, because they would instigate investigation on your station not meeting the public decency standards just because you did not take Jimmy Kimmel off the air. And I believe somebody reported, I saw it on the social media, was it Como or someone, that said there were stations that were considering yesterday to not broadcast Jimmy Kimmel's show anymore at the threat of a Brendan Carr's announcement / Trump's announcement or Melania's announcement. I think this is why, that because the government itself is getting into the comedy business by being so mean, so nasty, calling people low IQ. I mean, you can call me low IQ, maybe that's the case, but you don't call a reporter, low IQ or, whatever, low rated news media. That should not come from our government officials, particularly, much less the president. So I think this is really not something. And on the other hand, on the other side of the coin, when you want to see some objective analysis, relatively neutral analysis, like Jon Stewart or Jimmy Kimmel or Steve Colbert, these people are literally actually they are all performing the role of objective analysis of current events. And Gary, you may say that's not news. Gary, I don't think that's news. You know why? Because everything that Jimmy Kimmel, Colbert, still says, it's never the first report. They always got it from something else, the AP, Reuters, or whatever. So they're still playing the role of a comedy show, except comment about
but the problem
their lives.
I'm not critical of them in my story above. I'm critical of people who view that as news, which you do not. But people people claim that they're getting their news from comedians.
Right,
Now,
I think that's a misconception, Gary. I think people say that it's not necessarily that they get the first source of news. They say that because they get their analysis. They have.
But that's not what. Read the Ipsos poll, and maybe you'll get a better understanding. It's linked in the story that I wrote above. Thank you, Ben. Ben talks about a lot of things there, and I'm not going to go over them point for point because other people want to speak, obviously. But I just want to point out. He almost hit the nail on the head a little off, in my opinion, with regard to how things have changed from the Walter Cronkite days to today vis-a-vis television broadcast news. I'm just going to say very briefly that it all changed when CNN came, with the inception of CNN. Why is that? Because Walter Cronkite and Huntley Brinkley and all of the ABC, NBC, CBS news groups and all of the correspondence that they had around the world and so forth, and all the money that they put into that was a loss leader for the networks. It was a public service by the networks. They lost money on that. They never made money on that. It was never designed to be a moneymaker, and there were great stresses that were put on between the entertainment side of those networks and the news sides of those networks as they fought for the money necessary to run their operations. And the entertainment side said, well, that's great what Murrow is doing. But he's not making us any money. We're making you money with I Love Lucy, So don't put your money into news. It was always a struggle, but it was recognized ultimately that they had a responsibility to the public to provide news coverage, and that comes from the tremendous legacy of radio broadcasting before there was television. And the leader, I just want to point out, in radio broadcasting, which will...
Hola amigos, hola chicas. Yo tengo una cerveza con una naranja. I just placed an order for an extra large burrito. Y 5 tacos, 5 tacos con pollo. Y picante.
Una torta.
Una cerveza, una daiquiri, una necesita una margarita. Báilame, ey horra.
Authentic, right? If there
That would be. We know that at least in this case with Deuteronomy 32:43, we know, right, the LXX is authentic in it.
Are their own news networks. The news was the product. There was no entertainment division to raise the money so that they can report the news, because that was the entire product. So then you can't run it as a loss leader. You're trying to run it as a profit-making operation, and that changed everything. And then they just determined...
There's this, back alley trans, show club right next door to me, and, the windows are all covered up, and, there's, graffiti on... What happens?
Yeah, you see the rat temples, yeah.
Yeah, they have a rat temple. I wonder what they're going to do with the rat temple. Are they going to kill all these little,
Do you like how you said, like, I don't use TV? Like,
I don't do screen. I don't do screen.
are biased.
And so I never use it. I have to preface that because it's important in this story. And anyways, so I was napping. I was having a good little slumber. Everything was good. And then all of a sudden I hear like music coming from my living room. And I was like, what is that? And it freaked me out.
From your own ass living room?
Yeah.
Wow. Okay, sorry. Go ahead.
And so all my cats were in the bedroom with me, so I was like, okay, it wasn't them. They didn't turn
What are their names?
on.
What are the names of the cat? Your 3 cats. What are their names?
Well, I told you one of them. Don't you remember?
Okay, so if I remember the names of all your cats, like